Hey everyone, Travis, Thom here. Today I'm going to show you how to create a Facebook lead ad. It is an ad essentially that asks for the contact information up front. It's almost like a little mini landing page inside of Facebook. We're going to use it in this video to get people to sign up to then view a single property website. And essentially what I'm trying to do is create a double opt-in. So I'm going to ask for their information on the front. If I don't get their information, then on the landing page. So I'm trying to sneak in a little bit on the front and see if there's enough interest and desire through the Facebook lead ad, lead capture, asking for their name and email, giving them enough information there right inside of Facebook, and then sending them over to the single property website. So I'm going to show you how to create it. Let's dive in. All right, so one of the first things that we're going to do is choose what type of objective, and we're going to choose lead generation for the lead ads. This is the only type of objective that actually has the lead ads in it, and I'm going to name this property site as the campaign. For this, I'm just going to dive in directly into the ad format and start to go in exactly how we're going to craft this. So as you can see, I've already placed and dropped in the ad copy, the imagery, and the headline, rediscover what it means to be home. And the text, it's more than just a house, it's a fabric of memories that have been woven into milestones over time. So I'm really trying to pull on the ad copy here and really get people to click. So this is a really emotional style kind of ad. And I'm using a call to action button on top of that, along with the lead ad itself. So it looks like just a regular ad, but when we scroll to the bottom here, the next thing what we're gonna do is click new form. That's gonna create a new lead ad form. There's several things that we have on the side here. As far as the welcome screen that really shows what they're going to be getting. And I highly suggest that you choose a welcome screen. It is optional, but it's also good to really kind of give a little bit more suggestive copy and imagery to get into the next step. Here are the questions. You can select phone number, city, postcode, date of birth, marital status, and add more to it. There's privacy policy, and that's important, but we'll discuss that in a little bit towards the end here. And then you're also going to want to have a link of where you're going to take people to. So that's on the thank you screen, and that's where we're going to put our property site link. So once we finish up that, we'll add that. So on the welcome screen here, I can see that the image I have on here is covering up the call to action, so it's pulling it directly from the ad. So I'm going to go ahead and upload a new image that removes all that, so I'm not covering up that call to action. So this is a clean image here, but it's consistent with the original ad. Now the headline I'm going to put in here is going to be telling them exactly what they're going to get. So we want to tell them what the next steps are, so it's not like a black box where they don't know, and we want to reduce the amount of friction. And friction essentially is getting them to take those next steps, but not making it too difficult. The layout, we can choose bullet points or we can choose paragraph. And if you're explaining benefits or whatever it might be and the features, bullet points are good for that. But I'm going to drop in the text I already have into a paragraph style form. And once again, I'm using a little bit more of the kind of emotional persuasive copy about trying to tell the story of getting them to imagine themselves in there. Now next, the button copy is always key and important. The button copy for this, I'm just going to go ahead and type in show me the home, and I'm using me because I want them to really be able to imagine themselves. This is the inner voice saying it. So once again, persuasion, persuasive copy, show me the home. So we're using that type of language instead of just a regular submit button, right? Because that doesn't tell you what's going to happen next or what you want them to do. Now it's always important to save. You never want your computer to crash and not have it saved. And questions. These are where we're going to fill out the questions. So its default questions are email and full name. Kind of the two key critical things that a lot of people want with lead generation. I'm going to add a few more here. I'm just going to ask for a phone number. You can ask for a work phone number or just the regular cell number. But work phone number sounds a little odd, like they might be solicited at work, so I'm just going to go ahead and choose phone number. Now from here, you can add a few more questions. And once again, about friction. Friction is if you ask too many questions, then there appears to be this kind of level of immediate threat, right? There's too much threat, and so then they go and they back off and they don't want to continue forward. But if you were to ask the right amount of questions, you might want to say a custom question, are you in the market for a home? Now you can ask and add a few of these custom questions if it is a really good question that's relevant to the ad and to then the information that you're trying to extract. But remember, you want to reduce the amount of questions you have because no one likes long forms, and if it's not a benefit to them, they're most likely going to abandon the form and never fill it out. So we just want to make sure that we keep that short. So I'm adding another option here, just looking, and then they can type in multiple choice there. And that's how that would appear, is the last ones you enter are towards the top. But I'm gonna go ahead and just delete these custom questions because I feel like that's too many questions, too much friction, which then creates too much of a threat, and then they bounce and we lose that opportunity to convert them. Now, privacy policy is pretty critical with this. They're not going to let you create anything without a privacy policy. They have their default one, Facebook does by that, but they're also going to need you to have a privacy policy with that. But we'll touch on that in just a little bit here. Then the thank you screen. So once they fill out that form, then it's going to slide in this thank you screen. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the single property website that we're going to be sending them to, and copy it and I'm going to paste that text inside of this. Essentially, we can't change the button here, so that's going to stay the same, but once we click on it, this is what it's going to take them to. So they're going to go to this beautiful single property website. They're going to get to see all the images and the layout, show off the property, but we've already generated their information from that first part of the ad. So we've accomplished that goal of sending them to this gorgeous single property website. So now we're going to go back and kind of take a look at what that looks like. That's the form. And then this is the welcome screen. So when they click on the ad, they'll go to the welcome screen, and then they'll click on the call to action button, which will then take them to the form page. They'll automatically fill this out and then they'll go to the visit website page. All right, so one of the next things is the privacy policy. So what we want to do here essentially is we want to provide a link to the privacy policy. Not everyone has a privacy policy written, so good news is there's companies like Connect.io that have a automatic privacy policy generator. You just type in your company name and location, and then it'll auto place all of that information in there for you. So just look up Connect.io and then lead ad policy generator in Google, and it'll come up with this. So you just copy and then paste that information into wherever your website is or hosted, or ask the company if they have one or if they have a link to one, and they should be able to give you one. So I just used ours. I just auto-created one and dropped it in there. And now that will allow me to save and then finish the ad. And so now I'm gonna hit finish, and then this is gonna give us a preview essentially of what that looks like. So we have the front part there, we have the lead capture, and once again that call to action button copy, show me the home, that's really key. And we've generated the leads here. And then once they hit submit, then it's going to take them to then the next stage of them clicking on that, and it's going to then take them to that single property website or wherever you plan on sending them to. So this is the original ad that they're going to see that's going to encourage them to click on it and move forward. So we have that great call to action copy, rediscover home, that call to action button on the image. This is what it looks like in mobile and in the desktop newsfeed. And this is a great way to generate leads on Facebook in the newsfeed itself and then send them to whatever website you want.